Hello, YouTube! I am Pinstar, and this is Stellaris Strategy and Tactics, Episode 0. So, about a couple of weeks ago, I released my original Episode 0 for this series, but a couple of things came to head. One, I got a lot of feedback that you guys weren't really too keen on the super role-playing focused and the voice, modulations be damned, and that me putting the tactics in the closed captions was not really viable because a lot of you tend to listen to me rather than watch me, which is fine. I understand. So, in the interest of making this series accessible for everyone, I've decided to do it as a traditional. This is going to be a traditional strategy and tactics. I will be doing this with gameplay and tactics in mind, with maybe a little bit of role play, but more as far as the strategic elements going, that's going to be the focus. The other thing I was waiting for was a critical bug to get fixed over the holiday season, because the bug lands squarely in the strategy of this race and hurts us very badly. But it was a bug, not a gameplay mechanic designed that way, and they've since fixed it. I've tested it. It's all good. I'll mention it when we get to it and at that point of the game, where it was and what it was doing to us. Anyway, so this is our race du jour, the Bureau of Bureaucratic Bureaucracies. So let me, for this episode 0, I'm just going to explain some of the methodology for my picks, for my ethics, civics, and racial traits, and what kind of synergies I'm hoping to play off of here. So, the first things first was, when I went about making this race, I decided to start with a focal point. And that was this one, Byzantine Bureaucracy, one of the new ones with Megacorp. It gives us minus 10% pop amenities usage, minus 10% pop housing usage. It allows us to construct the bureaucratic complex, which gives us additional administrator jobs. More on that later. I actually took it more for the administrator jobs than the amenities and housing drop, but both of those are welcome additions that synergize elsewhere in the build. The other pick here, efficient bureaucracy, I honestly, this is more of a role-playing pick. There are other traits that, or rather other civics that could probably fit here pretty nicely. This doesn't hurt, it just doesn't synergize with everything, other than the fact that it is a second civic that has the word bureaucracy in it. And these rats are all about the bureaucracy, so why not? I mean, it certainly helps, it'll help our tech and, I want to say civic, the Unity research speeds as we grow. Now, as far as our civics go, or not our civics, our ethics go. So I decided I wanted to do a race that was authoritarian, because they did some pretty significant changes to authoritarian, and changes in ways that I think are actually really good. I was never really a fan of authoritarian prior to 2.2. The whole forced slavery thing meant that unless you were doing syncretic evolution, it really kind of messed with your build here. Or at least in my opinion, it just didn't really suit well in the early game. Later game, that's another story, where authoritarian would pay off in a different way. But now you can actually start out with authoritarian, I think, in good faith. Now, that being said, we are not necessarily a slaver race, although slavery may be on the table, depending on how we go about things. The other flip here is a Fanatical Materialist. Now, prior to 2.2, this specific combination of ethics was actually really bad, because when you were enslaving your people, enslaving robots, you didn't get the extra production out of the robots. Now, again, we're not getting extra production out of the robots either by here, but we're also not enslaving our own people, so it's not like we're giving that up. So it actually, they synergize a little bit more, and it gives us some added flexibility down the line. I'll show you what I mean. Now, traditional, traditional just overall is just a really, really good pick. I do like me some Unity in here. So traditional, always a welcome thing. That synergizes with Byzantine Bureaucracy because those extra administrator jobs, those governor level or ruler level jobs, yeah, they produce Unity. They also produce amenities. So having extra opportunities on every single planet, because we can build one of these every single planet, having extra opportunities to produce Unity and therefore get boosted by Unity is a good way to get heaping helpings of Unity. Now, weak, this is partially a role-playing choice, but also a more of a strategic one as well. Army damage, as A-Spec has pointed out, armies still aren't really that relevant, so it's hardly a downside. Now, they did give weak a little bit more teeth by also weakening your overall worker output, not just your miners anymore. It used to be just -5 minerals, but now it's all your workers. But that's kind of counteracted by authoritarians boosting all workers' stuff by 5%. So we net 3% bonus. So it just kind of eats the penalty and more. And then when we start getting robots into the mix, that becomes less and less of an issue. Now, ingenious here, this actually combos really well with robots, because robots, at least the first level of robots, can't take jobs that produce energy. They're not smart enough to run power plants. Whereas our people, our bureau rats here, will get a bonus to running those power plants. So when the robots start taking over the farmers and the miners, all those extra workers will get displaced, and we'll have a lot of people who are all good at power plants. Intelligent, just good across the board. Since these guys will eventually be making their way higher up in the society, getting boosts to research works well, and this combos well with the Fanatical Materialist boost to research speed anyway, so we're going to be pretty darn good tech-heavy. Lastly, we got repugnant here. Amenities from jobs. Well, this actually is mitigated by a couple of different ways. One, Byzantine Bureaucracy allows us to use 10% less amenities, so the fact that we produce 20% less is not as big of an issue as it would be for a normal race. Secondly, the administrator jobs, in addition to producing Unity, they also produce extra amounts of amenities. So in addition to the base amenities production that the planet has, these guys will be producing even more. And while I'm building these bureaucratic complexes mostly for the Unity, the fact that they spit out extra amenities, probably more than you normally need, means that taking a hit to those amenities is still going to leave us with more than enough. So that is my strategic reasoning for this build. As far as the, obviously everything else is all role-playing purposes. Our emblem, the endless string of red tape, that's what these rats are all about. Alright, now as far as our game settings go, I am going to start with my sort of my golden ratio here. AI Empires 23, huge galaxy, 2 Fallen Empires, 2 Marauder Empires. I'm not doing my preceded galactic races that I've done in the past, only because I haven't updated them yet. But I'll be working on that. Difficulty, let's get us up to Commodore. I do like scaling difficulty on normal, 2 guaranteed habitable worlds, because I'm kind of just used to that play style. All right, so I think we are good. So in our next episode, we dive head first into the Bureau Rats. Get started here, and we'll see what 2.2 has for us. This specifically, I'm playing on 2.2.4, the beta build. So if you guys like this episode and you want to see more like it, go ahead and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave me a comment, good, bad, or indifferent. Your feedback's always welcome. So until next time, this has been Pinstar, signing out. See ya!